All right, I'm a little bit worried about Marvel Strike Force, and I gotta tell you, ever since I started covering this game, people have always been saying things like, the game's gonna end, and games end, and the game is going down the dumpster, and all that stuff. And I'm usually kind of like, well, maybe that's not the case, blah, 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 whatever. This is the first time I'm actually a little bit concerned, and I'll tell you why. Mostly is because there's been a whole series of hiccups with the QA and the quality of the game, coupled with them cashing in all the goodwill that the community they had built up over the course of the first 6 months of the year. They cashed it all in to make profit in the last 6 months, and I just don't think that's a good thing. Now, historically in Marvel Strike Force, the communities loses their minds in the spring because they take so much time off around the holidays, and they don't even have a roadmap. Last year, on the 29th of November, they published a roadmap, and then they went on break forever, and people are, normally in the spring, we're talking like January, February, March, whatever, is when everybody loses their mind because they haven't been working on the game and they neglect the community. They're going into that break with the game fractured. Battle World was a problem. The Shadow King Trials was a problem. Kahori was a problem. There's just so many things, right? Take a break, Scopely, and regroup. I think you filled your quota with disappointments in 24. Please take a step back. And I would say that the first half of 24 was actually pretty good. Look at the dumpster fire you managed to create in the last couple of months. I agree. And think about how to make it better for everyone. Made the right call to take down Battle World for a while. I agree. Shouldn't have been in the first place. I agree. But Battle World isn't the only issue. I agree. There are many features you're just dying for an upgrade. Some suggestions. RTA. Is anyone using it? Remove it. Might even enhance the performance of game in one loading. Blitz. Replace and alternate between tower escape each week. And the weekends alternate between Blitz for gold, training materials, and the no red star orbs. Okay. War Battle World. Double the rewards and alternate between them. Give alliances break. Focus on one game mode. And that is a common suggestion with Battle Worlds because Territory Battles is the equivalent of Battle World, right? And Territory Battles is in Galaxy of Heroes, and it's every other week. And I was talking to Arnold. It's like one of the least popular game modes in Galaxy of Heroes. And I remember when they said they were going to bring Battle World to the game, and I got to take a quick look at it. I realized it was Territory Battles, and I was just like, oh boy, I'm the wrong person to have an opinion about this. I never liked Territory Battles in Galaxy of Heroes. Stores. Add Crimson Orbs to War and Diamond Orbs to Crucible Store. Right now, both are quite useless for mid-end game players, meaning there is little to no point in playing the modes. Probably a lot of other things can improve, so let's just use the thread to post in them in and never see them happen because they're their own critics after all. Now, I've got two other things I want to read, and these are coming from people that I highly respect. I didn't get time to ask if I could use their name, so I cropped it out, but I still think the point makes sense. Might have to drop Marvel Strike Force again. No roadmap. It feels like they don't have one internally either. Feels so random. The team I just dumped all my resources into for the last 2 months is useless. All the stores are broken. All the economies are broken. They're going into Christmas break, and nothing is going to change for 3 months or more. I don't mind white knuckling it. There's some known thing to white knuckle but meh. I've only been logging 1 to 3 times a day versus 8 when I'm joining the game. I'll come back when it's a good. And this person very, very much understands the development cycle of games, and nothing's going to change for 3 months. That's also my prediction. Rastelin or Steven, another, I don't know. This guy's like the voice of reason in Marvel Strike Force, and typically when people are outraged, he has like a very measured, logical, constructive criticism of the game. So I like reading his posts and doing all that. The real problem with Marvel Strike Force, and maybe it's always been, Scopely seems to be concerned with finding ways to encourage people to spend money, and they're putting out a product that's actually worth the amount of money that people are spending on the game. That is why after 1 year, after Apocalypse felt so different and gave so many players hope, because for that 1 year, Scopely actually tried improving the game to be worth our money and our time. Unfortunately, after that year, I guess they decided coercion was easier and made them more money, or their unpublished layoffs a year ago. And my understanding is, a lot of the people that are based out of LA got laid off. I did see, or I know of teams being remote, and I know there's people working in Mexico, and a lot of Scopely is based in Spain. I heard at one point that they were doing some of the customer support in Ireland, and I know when I did when I went to Valley Flying's house, he lives in Texas, and did the meetup, there was a developer that lived in Texas that showed up at the meetup. So I feel like everybody is not centralized in Marina Del Rey or whatever, Culver City there in LA, where their headquarters is or was. I don't know. It feels like it's been spread out. Unpublished layoffs a year ago finally caught up to, and they simply no longer have the staff to continue on that path of excellence. Despite this game is not really that far off from being in a good place. 2 simple changes would make the game drastically better: revert the slow drip of character releases and make content that is able to challenge every level of player. By coercion, I mean things like FOMO, artificial scarcity and/or exclusivity, rage baiting, non-skippable teams, etc. Scopely seems more concerned with making a game that makes people feel like they have to spend money, not a game where people want to spend money, which ironically seems like the opposite of how Monopoly Go is designed. Yeah, and I think there's something off with the quality of the game. I was clicking through this artwork, which looks like these are hand-drawn pictures. And I was like, oh, that looks cool. That looks cool. And then I got over here to Yelena, and I was like, what are they thinking? I mean, this looks good, but what is going on there? A lot of people said, well, maybe the issue is that it was AI. I don't know, man. I use generative fill, which is AI, quite a bit. Like, this is Photoshop, and I just, boom, fixed. Holy moly. Maybe I don't think AI would have done that, is what I'm trying to say. So to me, this is either one of two things. Nobody is checking anything over there. Nobody's looking at it. Or this was deliberate and intentional. Either way, it's bad. It's not good. I think this right here is a good example of what's wrong with the game in some ways. Upvote if you didn't vote for Taskmaster. And I got to say that, I've been voting for Ghost, and 2 of these 6 are going to be making it into the game. Taskmaster, a lot of people are not wanting Taskmaster because he's a part of a team and it'll break up Underworld. But I think a lot of other people are voting for Taskmaster because they've got him built up. I get it, but I'm just a fan of Ghost's kit from way back in the day, so I've been voting for Ghost. Do whatever you want, but I know there's a lot of people seeing upvote if you didn't vote for Taskmaster. I mean, this is like normally like well-received posts on Reddit from Marvel Strike Force have like 100 or 200 upvotes. I haven't seen one that's up 400 or 500 votes in a long time. Stormwatch, we'll just go over this quickly. Looks like the events are starting tomorrow. They were doing them on Sunday, and they've moved them back to Monday, which I think is good because they typically don't work on Sundays. Battle and Crucible and Spin, Absolute A-Force Energy starting on Monday. Battle and War and Absolute A-Force Showcase Energy for the 4 Calling Birds event. Bonus points for opening Goblin Maleficent. Sin Orb, Spin Snow Globe. So that's the store, right? Like the Kahori store, if you will. Spin Snow Globes on the special event store for the Season of Giving web milestone beginning on Monday. Earn Ally Supply Orbs and Battle and War also starting on Monday. Earn Ally Supply Orbs and Battle and War for the Absolute Assault Alliance milestone event starting Monday. Lastly, a lot of people are going for the Shadow King Trials. That is wrapping up right now. Just fell out of the top 5,000. Yeah. To be competitive in the trial, and a lot of people are able to do this, you have to turn on all of the packs. And there are some tricks to it. You have to basically do it at max difficulty. I just did it today, and I just ran through it, and I got like 700. This suggestion came in prepared Nightcrawler, Vol, Old Man Logan, and Deathpool on the first node. Yeah, the Deathpool having the charge ready was very useful. The Ultimate and Nightcrawler were super useful. And then I just used Mephisto to get through it quickly. Other thing, too, is I don't know what they're going to do with that because a lot of people have been able to do max difficulty. I was talking to a player that started the game a year ago, and I want to give some credit to where credit's due. They have done some pretty positive things with the new player experience. I opened an account last year and I played it. It was a lot of fun. I started this account at the same time as somebody else, and that person already has not only Mephisto, but Odin, and they were able to max pact highest difficulty for the Shadow King trials. So a lot of people are able to do the max difficulty, max trial, then it becomes a function of efficiency. But the post that they put out suggests that they might do something for more players, or maybe extend the 7 yellow beyond the 500. The post didn't say that, but my suggestion is, if you're interested in having the opportunity to get a 7 yellow, and it's relatively easy, well, I don't want to say easy. Endgame players are having an easier time, or somewhat easy time, of doing difficulty 15 with all the packs turned on. And then if you want to place in the top 500, it's this slog of efficiency and trying to do each node as efficiently as possible. So I just kind of did a lazy run today, and I got 700 and I'm done. And hopefully if I get a 6, I get a 6, but I'm not going to be surprised if I get a 7. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Bye for now.